toolbox. Live, Jane. Live.
We're live.
Live.
Already.
Live.
Already.
Hello.
Oh my goodness.
Well.
Just adjusting my microphone. Sorry about that, folks.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We are there. Honest. Right, let's turn that volume down. Good morning. How are you this morning? Jane's here. Good morning, Jane.
Good morning.
Lovely to see you. Thank you very much. We have got perfect patchwork projects for our lovely, well, you lot, basically, this morning, which is fabulous. With this big bad boy.
It's a bit big.
Right, so just so that you see exactly how huge this chap is. You know, he's got their eye on this.
Keep going.
Don't you, Jane?
Who's that?
Frederick.
Oh, has it? Oh, of course, yes, because he loves his cat.
Yeah,
Look
he
at
does
that.
love his pussycats.
It's Naughty Morty, isn't it?
So it is Naughty Morty to a T. Naughty Morty, who this morning, when I had all the children in my bed, was also under the duvet. Like, why do I have your cat under my duvet?
Oh.
What is going on? So this is just incredible, and it's out of the Perfect Patchwork book, which we absolutely adore. We've got lots and lots of projects from there. Now, the challenge for this, Jane, it would be fair to say, was the fact that pretty much every single square is different.
Yes, definitely for the rainbow. The blues, there's 6 of each, I think, you cut. But it's higgledy-piggledy, so...
So that's the thing, and we don't assume, do we, that
No.
anybody has that kind of amount of fabric in their stash.
No.
To be able to do. And if you had to buy like a ½ metre or fat quarter of any of that, it would be
the
huge.
book says a fat quarter of each of the blues. Gemma and I looked through the pattern. We worked out that we could give you a 7.5-inch strip of 20 colours, which reduced the cost considerably.
We like to do that for you. And so the bundle for this, and we will repeat for those of you that, you know, a little bit late joining or whatever, looks like, Jane.
We've got the bundle of blues.
So there's got a little mini demo to do.
That's it. 20 beautiful blue fabrics, selection of moders, bit of Liberty in there, bit of
Moda grunge.
bit of grunge. There's some of our plains,
Lewis and Irene, more Lewis and Irene, Sparkle Blender, more Moda.
That's some of the Studio E that we had left over from the
some
Blue
Liberty,
Dreams.
more Liberty, even more Liberty. Oh, some Christopher Wilson Tate, love that one.
And a bit more Lewis and Irene.
And oh God, that was the last squidgy bit of that one.
Yeah.
With the bees on, lovely. So that is your 20-piece 7.5-inch strip.
Yes.
Is it a full width of
full
fabric?
width of fabric
strip?
those, so you've got plenty to do what's needed for the background of the crazy cat. Well, laser cat he is actually. We've been calling him the crazy cat, but it's called the laser cat in the pattern book.
There he is.
Oh, there's another one.
Front
here,
and
look, there's a
centre.
bit of
Oh, I
pale-
forgot one.
pale
That's
blue.
another little Lewis and Irene one. Let's
Yeah.
tuck that one in. There you go. Loud and proud there. So that's your 20. So that you can do all of the surrounding patchwork for this. It might be that you just want to have
a load of blues for your stash.
because actually just a blue
Yeah.
a blue patchwork quilt just squares, just in all the
just cut it
colours
up into 7.5-inch squares, and you've got a lovely sized quilt there.
would be stunning.
Yeah.
However, Jane,
We've then,
so this is available individually.
yeah,
I've got Gemma sat on the floor nodding because she's done all sorts of permutations so that you can get the one that suits you. Don't forget, if you're spending over £50 today, do put in your free ½ metre. I think you all know how to do it now. Right, so this is one option. You can just buy the blues if blues are your love.
and then
However,
we've worked out how many you need of each colour. There's the reds. So again, there's a lovely selection of moders. Studio E, that's folded over slightly, Lewis and Irene, Jane Sassyman, some of our beautiful plains. There's a bit of ombre in there, a bit of bumbleberries, they're the oranges.
Oh, and then Liberty. Straight
Bit of
with the
Liberty. Lewis and Irene, some of our plains. We've really, there's some flutter in there.
This took a long time to do.
There's the yellows, Liberty, Moda, plains. Beautiful, beautiful selections of colours that we've carefully hand selected to.
Yeah.
There's your greens. There's some turquoisey teals in here. Nice bit of Lewis and Irene pretty there, Matryoshka. Some bumbleberries. Some of the mystic vine. Bit of sparkle. We love a bit of sparkle, so we will stick sparkle in if we can.
Who doesn't love a bit of sparkle? Sylv loves a bit of sparkle.
Yeah.
She always loves a bit of sparkle.
There's some Macawa spray time in this, in the purples. A bit more sparkle in there, flutter.
Sparkle,
With
sparkle.
a Liberty and a little bit of salt, but it's a smoke batik, not salt batik.
Beautiful. Well, we've got Annette with us and Brenda and Anna. Morning, ladies. I missed yesterday. I went to a friend's.
And then
I'm
we've
gonna
got some
think-
pretty pinks.
Beautiful. I'm going to think she says means wedding. She said weeding, who I made her wedding dress. I don't think they made her garden.
No, probably not.
No.
I'd love a weeding dress.
A weeding
Yeah,
dress.
yeah, yeah.
Pockets that
Yes.
you can put
Beautiful.
bits in and-
Yeah.
So, amid saying hello to everybody, Jane, we have got all of these. Now, you could have those.
These are like our Liberty applique. So they're we cut 7.5 inch strips, and then it's 7-ish. So it's not a square in the true sense of a square. 7.5 by 7-ish. So again, 6.5 inch, 6 3/4 inch squares in the pattern. So there's plenty there for you to trim it down to make the cosmic cat, should you wish to. Otherwise, you've got a beautiful bundle of rainbow
Just
squares.
rainbows. So again, you could just make that up into something fabulous and rainbowy, and that would make a lap quilt.
Yeah,
Because if you look at
just the size of the
size
cat's
of the face, that is a good lap quilt size.
Yeah, because I mean the pink's right down there under the table.
Yeah.
Look. So yeah,
So it might be that you just want to do that.
just the rainbows.
And then what this provides, and this is what I can't get, is the number of different fabrics. You can't get that variety.
No.
That number
And-
of designers
Yeah.
in that ombre, rainbow ombre. It's just phenomenal.
And if you were to go out to a fabric shop, even the best quilting shop would be a bit reticent to cut you 7-inch squares. They might cut you a fat 1/8 or even a fat 16th
time.
at the most.
It's the time factor, isn't it?
Yeah, but 49 squares have we got? In
47.
47 squares.
Hand cut by us here.
Yeah. And
Jane.
selected so, and Gemma, and selected so that you've got a nice blend of colours that, as you can
Work.
see,
Really
work
work.
nicely together.
So that's what we've got for you today. So
And
if
there's-
you would like, we've got these by their own, by themselves, by their own. That's-
All on their
By
own,
my
Sim.
own.
Do it by
I
my
do it by
own.
my own, mummy.
Suddenly 3 again.
Yeah.
Emily said that to me, and I was like, "That's what I used to say." My mum was just laughing her socks off,
Yeah.
and that was you. By
Yeah.
my own, mummy.
Do it myself, sis.
Yeah.
Do it by my own.
By my own. You can get that by my own,
Yeah.
or you can get it with that.
Yeah.
Or if you want to get the kit, the book is separate because that's coming from a supplier. Then you've got your black and your eyes,
Your black and the white, fat quarter of each.
and that whole shebang. Add in the book. All of that for a quilt. How big is this? 70? Was it 74 by 79?
75 by 70, 82.
It's huge.
Why are we
This is where you want me
podger?
now, don't you?
No, well, we don't
No,
need
it's
to
fine,
ponder,
we'll
do
look.
we? We've got the book.
We'll look. So
Yeah, 72 by 78.
78.
Yeah, 72 by 78.
we just guess.
Yeah, so
Um,
that's a good
and then we look
good
at-
size single bed, or you could sit on top of a full or a lovely one over the back of the sofa, and you could all get under that.
I mean, that is rather fabulous.
Yeah,
So-
snuggling.
That is coming in at
The kit we've
The
done
kit.
on a deal, $74.99.
£74.99, and then the
Wow.
book is, I think, how much was the book?
$16.99.
£16.99. So all of that for under £100 for a quilt that size.
And there's 16 patterns in that book.
16 patterns as well,
The
which
book's
is amazing.
beautiful, isn't it?
That's
The
a
book is
pound a
beautiful. We're going to look at all of that in just a minute. There's so much to see.
There's so much
so
going
much
on.
to see.
Jane
And
just lost
also,
weight.
Jane, I have to tell you, I got some rainbow scissors for everybody. Look.
I love these scissors. I spotted them yesterday. I was like,
Of course you did. Of
I
course
might need
you
some
did.
of those. I love a rainbow.
Look at these. They are so pretty.
Aren't they lovely? And I bet they're-
$5.99.
That's good. And I bet they're the perfect
Super
snip
sharp.
right at the end.
Yep.
Right to the end. Perfect for your little snips. If you do embroidery and stuff like that, handy for your little
Snip.
basket.
Snippity, snip,
Beautiful.
snip, and snip. What? I like
Ew.
snip.
Snip, snip,
Enjoying
snip,
your
snip.
Snips. Enjoy my snipping. These are my ones, so I can keep those out the packet because they're mine. All mine. You may share, Jane. You may share. We've got that. Don't forget Easter. If you're making any Easter things, the little Easter bunny rabbits. Can you see those? There you go.
You used
The
you
Easter
used those
trim.
as a trim, didn't you, round your little basket that you made?
Did use it as a trim around my
I
little
don't know where
basket.
that's gone because I was looking for that the other day. There
It was on my sample that I made. It's got a bit squished down the bottom, but yeah, just having little bunnies as my trim around my Easter basket. This was the very first sample, just a tester one. That's why it's not out
Right.
because I made modifications to it after that. Now the other thing, Jane, that we have. Should we say good morning to everyone first?
Let's do that.
Should we do that?
Yeah.
Morning, Anna. She missed yesterday because she was at the wedding. Morning, Claire. She said she loves the cat quilt. Morning, Helen. Oh, she's hidden her cards after buying the flowers and Brandon. Morning, Debbie. She's excited because she can watch live. Good morning to you. And Heather's here. Good morning. Still drying off after walking the dogs. Great weather for ducks. Oh, it's quite nice here, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got a bit of sunshine here.
Brenda's here. Good morning. She's gorgeous, pussycat. Thank you very much. Jan's here. Margaret's here. Kate, your mother is here. Good morning.
Morning, Mum.
And Grace and Vicky. Ooh, all the gorgeous colours. Yes. This is Vicky that likes white, yeah?
Yeah,
All the
we've
gorgeous
broken
colours.
that.
We
Yeah.
have broken her with colour.
We've infiltrated.
Morning, Margaret. She says, good morning. Ironically, I was having trouble this morning with the cat being needy. Yeah, I had that. And needy children too. I mean, who doesn't love a sparkle, says Sil Sparkly. She thinks that she
Well, we
needs
know.
Brandon and the flowers from yesterday, but unfortunately have to prioritise himself's birthday, which is today.
Well, I'm sure he'd love a fabric bundle.
I think that
Make him a lovely big peacock.
make him a lovely big peacock. Yeah, I think just the fact that it would make you so happy is a gift in itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
Everyone's
what I
a
tell
happy wife,
people.
don't they?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Good morning, Elizabeth. She's sorry I'm late. Yeah, it's all right. Don't worry. Rona's here, and Wendy's here, and Lynn's here, and Alison's here. She said great fabric selections. We worked so hard. I say we. Gemma and Jane worked so hard on that. Becky is a little bit in love with it. That's fine. Good morning, Lo. Morning. Here, but not here. But here if they don't bother me. That makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. Elizabeth says new blouse, Jane. It's very pretty.
Thank you.
She says she likes wafty. So good. Vicky says, yeah, she's here, but not here too. And good morning from Australia, says Maureen. She loves the quilt. It's all good. It's all good. So we've got the perfect patchwork. We've got that book. If you wish to buy your binding, how much binding are they going to need?
Let's have a look. I think it would be a metre from us because I think it's something silly like 7/8 or something.
Okay.
Yeah, 5/8, which is more than half a metre. So you would need
You'd
to
have a
get
squiddly
2
bit left over.
units. Yeah, and you
Okay.
have some left over. Because it recommends a nice stripy rainbow binding, which, you know,
Ta-da! We can provide for you. So these are our stripy options. If you want to go in and get your binding now, look, you can see I've only got squiddly little bits left of the, I want to say Robert Carlyle. I don't know if that's how you...
Eric, isn't
Eric.
Eric's Carl.
Hungry
Eric Carl, Hungry Caterpillar. So, yeah, I'm just making up names. Don't care.
You're thinking Full Monty.
Oh,
I
yeah!
wonder why.
Oh.
Oh, I sent it to those sets already.
Already.
Yeah.
And then this is Jane Sassman pulling it back
Back
to,
to,
you know,
yeah.
decent. Here we go. Jane
Summer
Sassman, if
salsa.
you want to do that and have
Yeah.
stripies. If you want those stripies or those stripies, we've only got squiddly diddly widdly 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 bits left.
Well, you might just like to have a plain
Yeah, up to you.
in a nice colour.
But
But you'll need a metre, whatever you
will.
choose.
You will. So, Jane, other things to mention on the show today are we've got eggs. These are little polystyrene eggs. I've been having lots and lots of fun with these. Look, Look at that. For Easter,
Lovely.
super, super easy project. So you can either get your bookbinding glue, cut up your little bits of fabric and stick them on, decoupage.
Yeah.
Or you can start with, when you get your eggs, we're going to give you 2 eggs, and these are probably going to go live today, but we'll remind you about them in the newsletters and stuff. You're going to get your little sequin pins as well.
Oh, fabulous.
Right. To start off, I've done 1.5 inch squares because our Stripology rulers are back in stock. Let's shout about that a little bit. And then, so pop one over the bottom of your egg.
Yeah.
All right. And then with your little, you go diagonally. So cut all your little 1.5 inch squares. You could do this in lots of lovely pastel colours.
You could, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Have a nice little rainbow going on as well.
And then you are just going to place it across like that. And pop your pins in.
Does it face the other way?
Oh,
Into
the other way.
middle.
Sorry, yeah. I'm going mad. There you go. So into the corners there. I knew it wasn't looking quite right. So what have I done wrong there? I started this the other week. You know when I was doing your show last week?
Yeah.
And I was quite quiet at times.
Yes, you were
Yes.
busy.
I was
playing.
doing me egg. So then fold the next one like so. I was thinking. So yeah, it goes in so you don't get your raw edges.
Yeah, you're covering your raw edge all the
Yeah.
time, aren't you?
And then or decoupage. I'm going to decoupage with some lovely capes, like a
Oh, the
Milli
lovely
Fury or
colours,
something.
yeah.
Would be rather fabulous.
That's a great way of using up all your scraps as well, isn't it? I
Well,
mean, 1.5
absolutely.
inch square, you could have really good fun with different colours.
Do we need to do more scrap bags? That is the next question.
Well, I think we're ready for some more scrap bags.
We've got quite a
We've got
lot.
quite a lot.
Well, and when you
there
look at
might be
everything
a
we've
bit of
cut,
liberty in there as well, because
Yeah.
there's quite a bit of liberty. We've been
Floating
cutting
around
lots of
everywhere.
liberty.
so you do those like so that anywhere that they don't meet,
You're covering it
is
over
covered
with, yeah,
with that.
brilliant.
and then it's very rushed, but you know what I mean. And then you go in between. So the next one you put in there, and there, and you work your way around. I've put a little bling in there,
Because you can.
just with the
Yeah.
sequins, and then again just a ribbon to hold it there, and you work it around like that. Now, if you had your Christmas jobby things, your Christmas advent calendar, then you had one of these, but as a different shaped egg type thing to do a pine cone.
Yeah.
So it's
But
the same
actually, I
technique,
was
but
just
the
looking
other
at
way
that.
up.
Yeah, the egg looks, you could do that with Christmassy, couldn't you, as well?
Well, you could. So you can have those, and then you just keep working your way around, or decoupage.
Yeah.
But the first thing is to grab your eggs. I'm limited on stock of these. They're great to do with the grandkids or your kids, depending on who you are, and they're not going to be very expensive at all. But we have an Easter tree, so we hang all of our Easter eggs on the Easter tree.
Lovely.
And we've got things like that on it, which is
That's
very, very
nice.
beautiful. Half meat heavens for tomorrow. Jane, should we double do these
Yeah.
and whiz through? Stripology rulers back in stock, by the way. We have been waiting for those. Right, let's have a quick look. We're down to our last squiddly diddly bits of this. Lewis and Irene tractors.
From the piggy tails.
Yeah.
Lovely. With a nice bit of, is that just red?
Yeah, I should have picked up the thing that
I
said
know,
what
I
they were.
panicked because the piles had all got the stickers on.
I
and was
know.
like, I'm sure I've seen those in the studio.
No. This is another Lewis and Irene, and again, I think I've got like 2 of those, and that's
Little
it.
bear faces.
Little bears, hedgehogs, there's mushrooms, there's foxes, all sorts. And it is
Lovely.
part of this range where they're all hibernating.
It's beautiful,
Look at the
isn't it?
bears! And the foxes and the
Beautiful.
hedgehogs, again, and there they are in your winter.
That's nice with that green, isn't it?
It's
It
lovely with
really
the green.
picks that really rich up,
And works
yeah.
really beautifully with the red. Right, now then, let's have a quick look. Yep,
Nice.
and yeah,
Is
I
that
think I've got 5 of those.
the Japanese
chrysanthemum?
It's not
It's not
the
shaggy.
line.
No. And then, how about this one? Milli Fury. Yes. With aqua.
Ooh,
Yes.
how nice.
So that's that one. And then we've got some Lisa Chandler butterflies. How grown up is this, right? I know, but how
Ooh,
beautiful is
that's
it with that
lovely.
green?
That's nice. Is that moss? I
Stunning.
think that's moss.
Yeah. And then Freddie chose this one.
Yes, I remember. He was standing, wasn't he? And he was contemplating. He picked out about 4 colours. Couldn't quite decide.
Misty blue
Perfect.
to go with the tree. There we go.
It's lovely.
I have got tractors. We picked out, again, Freddie helped me with this, he picked out the green to match the green of the tractor.
Look at those 4 together.
Rather lush.
Nice, nice,
I
nice.
might have one more actually, Jane, of the tractors. I might be making that up. Don't know, I felt like I might. Okay, so no, I'm making it up.
That's okay. I'll let you.
That's fine.
Oh, I love this.
I know. Caladiums.
I just love this colourway, but then I am a blue teal green person.
Rude not to, right?
Absolutely. That picks that blue up beautifully.
Now, I was really struggling with what to put this one with because apart from anything else, if you want to do your own bouquets like we did yesterday,
Yes.
this is a brilliant one to fussy cut out, by the way.
Yeah.
Your dancing dahlias.
Some lovely big prints in there, isn't there?
Really gorgeous, really gorgeous. And then Freddie went, well, what about the red mummy?
And we all went, ooh, yeah.
And every single person, because he took it to everyone to see, and
Yeah.
every single person went, I hadn't noticed the red until you put that there, Freddie.
Yeah,
So we're teaching him too. He's learning.
yeah.
This
He's
is-
an artist anyway, though, isn't he? He does love to draw and
He does love to
Stuff,
draw,
so-
yeah, but he's also, he likes, yeah.
loves colour.
Now, this is your climbing geraniums. Gorgeous.
Spearmint.
Yeah. And you know what? Again, fussy cut these out and use them for that as well.
yes.
Another one that has come in that is also perfect for fussy cutting if you're doing any of the things like we did yesterday is that one.
Lovely.
And again, I haven't got a full bolt of that or anything like that, so it's only squiddly diddly 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 willy bits.
Amaryllis.
Amaryllis, yes. Now this, Tilda, I know how beautifully does it go with that. It's got
I know,
bunnies
it's got
in for
bunnies.
Easter.
Isn't that a lovely print?
I only have a handful of those.
It's gorgeous, this fabric.
It's beautiful. Part of
Yes,
me
it's-
wanted to just keep it.
That's not misty.
No, it's not Misty
Misty
Blue, it's the
Blues.
new one.
Is it the
Duck egg.
duck egg?
Yeah.
Perfect. Matches that
We
beautifully.
have got,
Oh, that's
Sanderson
a nice
with grey.
Sanderson. Lovely.
I think it's elephant actually. But how beautiful is that? Botanically things.
Yeah, that would make a beautiful, you know, your beach bag pattern.
Beautiful.
That's a very grown-up
As
version.
with this one.
Oh, yes.
And also, if you are making, if we grab that back, if you are making anything that requires blue and yellow,
oh, yeah.
just saying it all, because it's all Sanderson from the same range.
Yeah, so the
I'd be
colours
making
are the
beach
same.
bags out of that. Or actually, you could do the cushions that we did yesterday with
Yes,
that.
Yeah,
And
fussy cut
maybe
your roses.
with this. Now, this is with cloud.
That's nice. Look.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Anybody think you've thought about it?
I try. I'm very trying. Now this, I looked at putting this with gold, and we have done in the past, but actually we're getting into spring. I wanted something just a little bit lighter, just to lift everything. That is one of your botanicals, and I think they are beautiful. Now, this was one of the Moda fabrics that we used in the Union Jack cushion.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there it is.
beautiful.
And again, we're down to the last squiddly diddly bits of that.
That's a bit of Hawaiian in there, isn't
It is a bit of Hawaiian, which just...
Perfect.
Now, if you wanted to do the beach bag in something beachy...
Oh, that was gorgeous. With
Yes.
tropical birds.
Yes. And then, Jane, whizzing through these because I know we've got a lot to do today.
That's a nice one. Is this one that's
Yeah.
just snuck in with
It's-
nobody looking?
Nobody, yeah, these are all bought in just for Half Meat Heavens. These aren't
Yeah.
live anywhere else. And I put it with orange.
Had to be done.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'd not
Nice.
to. There we go. Now, this one, again, is just brought in for Half Meat Heavens because they didn't have full bolts or anything like that. But
Oh, that's
look!
interesting.
You've got all sorts of animals. You've got monkeys, you've got parakeets, you've got toucans.
There's a little
you've-
anteater in there. isn't
Yeah,
there?
anteater. You've got all sorts of tropicals. And there it is.
Oh, that's lovely. Is that raspberry?
Yeah. Or is it pomegranate? Can't remember.
Oh, I think it's raspberry because it's a little bit pinker.
So they are your Half Meat Heaven optiones. Jane, it's going to be busy.
It is.
What can I say? It's already busy.
It's already busy.
Um,
We've got got some other kits as well, haven't we?
Oh, Margaret says I'm going to have to say it. If my dad had seen me wiggling about a field like that, I would have lost my driver tracting privilege. My tractor driving privileges. Mine was a red tractor, a David Brown, a DB25. I've got a John Deere and I love it. Right. Going over there in the corner. Cool. Love a good tractor.
Jeez.
Oh, Gemma wants all the half-metre heavens, of course. Now, new bamboo, 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 bamboo. Cotton bamboo is in. This is something brand new from Vlieslina.
This, when this came in, Gemma and I snuckily opened the box.
Snuckily.
And I was like...
What was the noise?
Ooh! It's a bamboo and cotton mix. It is so soft.
But it's better than that because it's an actual 50-50.
Yeah, 50% bamboo, 50% cotton.
And it is brand new.
It's got a lovely warmth to it and a lovely weight to it, and it is really soft. And we all know that bamboo is a nice sustainable product.
It is one of the fastest growing plants, isn't it? So
Yeah.
it's if you are of an...
Are we selling this by the half metre? Do we sell it by the half metre, Jem?
Yes.
Why
in case
not?
people want 2.5 or 1.5.
Yes. Yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense.
And we've taken a little schmiddly bit
wide?
off the price.
Yeah, how wide is it? Does it say on here?
Oh,
No, it
you
doesn't.
want all the information, don't you?
Let me double check.
No, it doesn't say. But it's wide.
It's beautiful. It feels absolutely gorgeous. So if you wanted, we've just brought in a roll of that to see if you like it. We like it.
That's about 25 inches there, so that's about 100 inches.
100 inches, so 2.5 metres wide.
Mm.
That's not bad, is it?
That is lovely. That's good quilt size. You'd be able to use it on the back of this quilt. You'd need at least a 2 metre piece, if not 2.5.
It's the same as our 80/20, 244 centimetres wide.
244 centimetres, there we go. Alison said, Margaret, our chaps have made a very similar comment when I opened up the tractor fabric at coffee time.
Artistic licence is what you say to that.
Yeah.
Because we were having a bit of a crazy cat lady day,
Which happens.
We found out the Twisted Tails
Oh,
cushion.
yeah, that's out
Is
and
that
about.
behind?
It's up the top, Jane.
Oh yeah, up there.
Up. Oh, sorry,
Can't really
can
see
you...
it.
Yeah, go on.
I did this cushion cover when we were doing the Sea Storm quilt because we incorporated the snail trail block.
Oh, yeah, we did, didn't we?
So we thought you might like to revisit that pattern if you haven't had it already. And we've done another little kit of fabric. So there's a couple of batiks in there. We've used some of the sonic dust and a bit of Moda. And
Beautiful.
there's a long quarter of each of those and then a half metre
This
of
was
the
such a popular kit.
cream, plain cream.
So there is a full demo on it on the website.
Yeah. Does it say in the pattern? No, this is one of the patterns where we didn't write the show, but
Well, we can
we can find out that.
Morning, Patricia. She's just joining. So the other thing is, I love this pattern as well because do you remember when HP sat and posed for the...
Yes, I don't know if you can see on the pattern.
You're on a
We're
overhead.
You can just see her. She's sitting on the machine. She used to love to sit by the machine because it was warm. And she's still around, but she's been homed in a nice, genteel home where she gets lots of fuss. She's with your nana and granddad, isn't she?
My Nanny Mew wanted a cat for her 90th birthday, and of course none of the rescues would let her have one.
No.
And when we moved to the studios here, HP spent most of her time sitting on the doorstep waiting for us to come home. She's such a home-based cat.
Yeah.
And it just didn't feel fair and it didn't feel right. And they were desperate for a cat. HP was desperate for a lap. And I thought, I can't do this. I need to marry the two together.
Yeah.
And she is so happy.
Well, they've changed the name, haven't they, to Happy?
Yeah, rather than HP. So that's where HP is. And because she's 16.
Yes, I was going to say for a cat that's a good age.
She's 16 and she's got all these toys. She plays with all her toys. She's just not off Nanny Mew's lap. So Nanny Mew is just so happy. It's absolutely changed life for her.
Oh, that's lovely.
HP is so happy because she's not sitting on the doorstep waiting for me. And sometimes, I've never really rehomed an animal before, but
No.
sometimes you've just got to do what's right for the animal, haven't you?
Yes.
Alison said, our daughter has a bright pink John Deere boiler suit. Easy to see her. Well, that's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Jane, what are we actually doing today? Because we've looked at all the goodies, but we don't
looked at
actually
all the
know what we're
goodies. Well,
doing
we've got
today.
another lot of goodies for you as well, because I just loved this book and I wanted to make everything out of it. And Gemma said, well, Jane, you can't because you've only got a couple of weeks to make a sample, so it's not possible. But there's a beautiful table runner here with up-to-the-date sunflowers. Everybody's making sunflowers, and that's got a similar twisty tail pattern in it with two cats twisted together, tails twisted. Look at that little pin cushion. Is that cute? I love that. Make
Yes.
lovely gifts.
Yes, yes, and yes.
There's all sorts of different things in here. There's a little needle bookcase with a little bit of little cat faces on and some flying geese. I wanted that sewing machine actually. Look at that. That sewing machine's so gorgeous. There's bags in here. Lovely tote bag. Little purse. Makeup bag. Look, with the little ears and the face on. Lots of things to make. Lots of cushions. Nice, all sorts of abilities. So something for everybody, I think. There's some lovely applique, and there's a cat-shaped cushion in there.
Oh,
A little bit of a Dresden plate in the corner, which I thought was
Beautiful.
beautiful. That's been made with felt, I think. Yes, felt she's used for the main body of the cat. Oh, quilter's linen, actually, for the cat, but you could use felt. And then there's quite a few quilts in here as well. There's a lovely one there with a applique bicycle with a cat sitting in the basket. All the templates are in the back of the book. Some of them you have to enlarge. So, if you take it to your local library, they'll do that for you. But the majority of them are to size. So you've got all the templates in the back there. There's a lovely section at the front that gives you all of the hints and tips about finishing, using the techniques. There's some of the embroidery stitches that she uses there, everything. So it's a lovely book to give as a gift to somebody that might be just starting out on their sewing journey. It's a lovely one to do with grandchildren, nieces, daughters that, want to try something a little bit different. There's some lovely ideas in there. So we made the laser cat quilt, the one behind us. I made the front of that.
and it is
It's lovely. So we've got the kits that go with that. And then I really, 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 really liked, I liked them all, as I said, but I really liked the middle of the Blooming Curiosity quilt. And I looked at it and I thought, if you didn't want to make a great big quilt, that little medallion in the middle of there would be lovely just as a cushion. It's quite big, it's 28 inches square.
Crikey, it's a good size.
So
floor
that's a good
isn't it?
cushion, nice for your garden, on your garden furniture, sit on in the garden as we're coming up to spring. And I thought it was quite spring-like. So we've put a bundle together that you will be able to make the middle of this cushion, of this quilt with. So again, we've gone Liberty, Moda, Lewis and Irene. We've been able to use small pieces because we've got, we do get to the point, don't we, where we've got a little bit left on the bolts and it's not enough to make anything big with, but it's great for like scrap projects and stuff.
Do you want to just show that project on a close-up? I've just realised my
Yes.
close-up camera is actually working today, which is fabulous.
That's good. So there it is. Bring it back that way.
Towards you.
Towards me. It's really pretty. If I move it forward, we can get
So
it
Jane,
bigger.
would that, to you a bit,
To me,
to you, there we
that's
go.
it.
Would that work with the rainbow bundle that we've put together if you wanted to do the outside bits?
It probably would. You might have to think about it a little bit because she actually makes this with a layer cake. And
Right.
she does a disappearing 9-patch effect. So
Okay.
she joins 9 squares together and then chops it into
Okay,
4.
do you want to lift it up a bit so it's in the...
Sorry.
There we go. To you.
To me. There
There
we
we
go.
Beautiful.
So yeah, it's a layer, the border is made with a layer cake. So if you've got a layer cake as well in your stash, I don't know if we've still got any layer cakes left, have we, in our warehouse? We had a big splurge on layer cakes, didn't we, and a lot of them went.
Yeah.
But yeah, layer cake is used in this one. But you could do it because it would come out slightly smaller because obviously it's 10-inch squares and our strips are 7.5. But yeah, you could do a similar effect.
Perfect.
Around the outside of that. So the kit we've put together, as I say, is enough fabric to make the centre medallion, if you like. We've got our plain white, and then we've got a half metre of Liberty, that's trailing marigolds. Now we've got a limited number of that, but we've got another fabric that's very similar, again Liberty, that we can, once that's gone, we'll substitute it for the other one. So it'll be slightly different, but...
Oh, it hasn't switched. Sorry,
Hasn't
everyone's
switched
just
over.
looking at your top.
Oh, lovely.
Well, yeah, I mean, everyone's getting a lovely view of your wafty top, Jane. There we
Wafty
go.
top, wonderful. Yeah, so half metre of plain, half metre of Liberty trailing marigolds. Then
I love that one.
I know, it's so pretty. And then we've got a fat quarter of another Liberty and the Caroline Campbell. I knew I'd remember the name.
That one,
That's
two.
pretty. I've said that would be nice for the cat, you see, because it's
nice.
sort of like a gingery effect. And then we've done a bit like the Brandon Peacock. We've got 5-inch by 11-ish, 10.5 pieces. These are way more than you need to do the flowers, but we're nothing if not generous. So you've got a nice little bundle of, there's 8 pieces there. If I open that out, you'll see exactly how big that piece is.
Nice.
And
again, these are all great stash busters.
Yeah.
They're, you know, add
if you
them in.
love your little EPPs as well, there's a nice little, you know, that's a nice bundle of fabrics. And then this one I've put in, she's used a stripe in hers. We didn't have anything that was pastely striped, but we've got this lovely salmon mystic vine, which I thought would make a lovely frame around that.
There you go. Gorgeous.
So I'm going to demonstrate this quilt middle, just because I can.
Do it.
So I have already done quite a bit of pre-making of stuff because it's quite, they're little pieces. The instructions are brilliant. She gives you a very comprehensive guide to how much you need, including the backing fabric and the size of the wadding you'll need. Pamela Jane Morgan, it's an American book, so everything is in yards.
Okay.
If you just scale that up to meterage, it'll work out the same and you'll actually have more than you need. She then tells you exactly what to cut from each piece, and she tells you what part it's for. So she's used a low volume print for the background of the flowers and the cat. I just used the plain white. Flower 1, all the pieces there. Flower 2, which is the tulip looking one, all the pieces there. The cat unit, and then the borders and binding. Well, obviously I've only put enough in just for the border if you were going to make it a cushion top. So
yes.
if you wanted to do the whole thing, you'd need to get more of that fabric. And then a lovely construction guide here of how to do each part. Now I've already made the flowers. They're very straightforward, and we'll be using some of the techniques in the cat. So the flowers are already made there. We've got the sort of daisy type one and the tulip there. I'll be joining those together and then adding a piece of plain to the top of that, but we'll get to that in a moment. So I'm going to put those to one side so that you can still see those. And then we'll make the cat. Now the cat pattern is actually used in 2 projects. So this construction for this cat is similar. There's another quilt with him just sitting in the middle. I don't know if I can find it now. I flipped to it straight away in the other. She's done him there in chevron effect. Made
Nice.
several of him. He's there. It's the same construction. And I think there's another one with him in the middle of a quilt as well further on in. So this method, and she's just put in this bit, use the cat unit assembly diagram as a guide, but the actual construction of the cat is in the front. So there's a very full guide of how to make him in the book as well. As I say, it's a lovely book, and it's one that I think that once you've bought this book, you'll keep going back to, because there's lots of different things to make. It's not just quilts, there's cushions, bags, little tiny projects, things that you could do with grandchildren and things, which is really nice. So a lot of it is using what she calls the stitch and flip method, which is quite straightforward really, and it's squares, drawing the diagonal line across from corner to corner, and then you stitch on the line, trim it away, and then flip the fabric back in place. So this piece here is the for the ears, so I'm going to do that now. You can see that I've got my 2 squares on, and the diagonal lines are facing in towards the middle of that unit. All the pieces and all the cutting instructions size-wise are all there, so you can see it. It's a very visual guide as well as instruction, so it's easy to follow, and very, very clear instructions. So it's a lovely way of doing it. And I didn't change my thread over, did I, before I came in?
Oh, it's blue in there at the minute. Is that of any use to you at all?
It's slightly dark, I think. So we'll just quickly...
You pick another one.
Bear with me while I'll use this blue one, because everything's there. It's like a grey blue, that'll be fine. Never thought about my bobbin.
There are bobbins around about somewhere.
Yeah, that's fine. I've got one here. This pale blue-grey colour will be ideal. I'd been doing my prep in the other room, of course, and it never occurred to me that I need to change the one in the studio. That will teach me. I was wandering around earlier thinking, I'm quite well organised for today. I don't know.
That's the killer.
Yeah.
You know when you know then that something's gone astray.
Not quite right. There we go. That wasn't too difficult. That easy threading mechanism on this machine is just a godsend, isn't it?
Yeah.
So for the sewing on the line, obviously you need to make sure that your needle's in the middle of your. If you turn your move your needle to 1/4 inch, if you've been doing sewing with that, you just need to make sure for these parts that it's in the middle so that you can sew on the line.
And away we go.
There we are.
I think the beautiful thing about this book is it's got 16 different patterns in, so you're basically paying about £1 a pattern.
Yeah,
for the book.
It's really good value, I think.
Yeah.
And as I say, there's all sorts of different levels of project. So things that you can do with young people and, more grown-up projects for yourself. So once you've sewn on the line, you're just going to trim that corner off 1/4 inch away from the line. And then just press those back and the iron's on, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Lovely. So very carefully, because now you've got biased edges, so just set the seam and then just gently with your finger and the tip of the iron, just press those back up and away, and it reforms the rectangle shape. So sort of like a flying geese, but not quite.
Beautiful.
So then the body, you've just got a single square in the corner, just to round off, give the illusion of rounding off the edge. So again, we're just going to sew on that diagonal line. Those trivet mats are brilliant, aren't they? Thanks, Lo, for that suggestion, because they just have helped so much.
So that's what we've done. We have basically just whacked the They're silicone, aren't they? Silicone trivet mats.
Just don't move.
Yeah. Lo's going to just stick ears on Jeff and some cat. I think that's the way these things work.
Yeah, why not?
Give it a go.
So again, sewn on the line, give it a press, and then very carefully just makes it back into the shape. So that's the main body.
Do you know what though? You could do a bag just with those flowers.
Yeah, you
couldn't
could.
you, around it, or
Yeah.
a cushion just with those flowers along
With
the
those
bottom
flowers
of it. It'd
on,
be really pretty.
it would look really lovely. Then we've got the neck shape here, and we're putting, just make sure when you're setting it out that you've got your diagonal line going the right way. It was very easy to do it that way and then it wouldn't go together. So this piece here has the diagonal going from top left to bottom right, and we're just going to sew that. So it's a lot of straightforward stitching, but it'll give you a lovely effect.
Beautiful. That Liberty fabric's really lovely with it, isn't it?
It is. When I looked at it, I thought, oh, it gives the effect of like a gingery cat, doesn't it? Which is quite pretty.
Malcolm would be happy about that.
He would. That piece goes in there. And then we've got the parts that make the tail, and there's one piece that goes across there, so we need to make sure that this is this piece here, that diagonal line just corresponds with that. You can, of course, once you've got all of these marked and pinned on, you could chain piece it.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know, because you're just continually sewing on the line. Just push that back a bit. There we go. And then once you've chain pieced it, trim them apart, and then do the trimming of the corners. So you know, it wouldn't take long to construct them. I did all the cutting last week, but I actually made the flowers, the 2 flower units. I made those this morning before the show, so
yeah, it didn't.
They didn't take long.
And we did interrupt you quite a lot.
Well, it's one of those things on show days. There's lots going on, isn't there, and lots of questions and making sure everything's together and kits and stuff. So. Yeah, I think the most time-consuming part of this pattern is the cutting. There's some quite small parts, and I think as long as you've got some labels with you, and just label them, because some of them are like 1.5 inch squares, and some of them are inch squares, and some might be a 1 1/4 by 2 inch rectangle, or a 1.5 by 2.5 inch rectangle. So it would be easy to get those muddled up. But actually, once you've got them against the part that you need, you'll see that they're not quite the right size, because everything goes together really nicely. There's some half triangle units in there, and she asks you to cut them originally slightly bigger and then trim them down, so you get a nice clean finish with the parts. I think we're on the wrong camera angle again. I'm too fast for you, aren't I?
No, I know. And also, if I'm looking on my phone for Facebook,
yeah, you can't have your eyes in both places. Yeah, it's difficult. So
sorry,
it's all right. We're all right, aren't we? There we go. So we've got all our pieces here. We've got the straight part for the tail. That part goes against there. I've got some other bits somewhere. There we go. And that piece goes in there. So we'll get these all sewn together, and you make it, if we refer back to the original instructions at the front.
I didn't realise just how big it was going to be.
An illusion, isn't it, of how it all works? Because I looked at it and I thought, oh, that'll make a nice little cushion. But actually, when I looked at the sizing and everything, I thought that's going to make quite a big cushion, actually.
Quite a big cushion. That's okay.
And that's fine, because we love a big cushion. And as I say, it would look lovely, wouldn't it, on Oh, and you need to make sure that you put your seam allowance now when you're joining the pieces together to 1/4 inch. There we go. I think the other beautiful thing about this pattern is there really isn't very much seam matching.
Oh, that's good. So if you're just starting out.
Yeah, so that, you know, it takes a lot of the worry out of it if you haven't got to match up seams and stuff like that.
And I think this is just a lovely gift for anyone that likes cat.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really do think that this is going to be the sort of book that you will have on your shelf and you will go back to time and time again because there's so much variety in it.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it is all cat based, but you know, well, we're a bit biased, aren't we, because we love cats. But
we do love our cats.
Gem's on the case though, she's looking for one that's dog based.
Yeah, no, she is. She really is.
So we're making it into 3 sections now, just so that we can then join the 3 sections together, which will help construct it. So you can see we're sort of making it into rectangular shapes.
And the thing is, we made the big cat. Is it Cosmic Cat?
Yeah.
We made him because we wanted to show you the size.
Yes.
And also because we knew that we could supply you with those fabrics and it looked phenomenal. And otherwise, that was the one quilt in the whole book that we just thought wouldn't get made unless you had the stash to, you know,
it's the sort of thing that it draws your eye to the book because it's on the front of the book. And Gemma and I were both like, yeah, I want to make that one. And then you look at the pattern and you're like, ooh, that's a lot of fabric in there. And I know some of us have got quite an extensive stash, but sometimes you'll have everything but one fabric that doesn't quite go or something like that. So I think if you can get it ready, more or less ready made for you, it takes so much of the...
Oh, I just think he's great. He's absolutely great. And you might just want the rainbow just to make a rainbow square quilt. You might just want the blues just because you want to just do a blues quilt all mixed through. It's however you want to play it.
It really is. You know, there's no...
Or you might want those fabrics for all your applique.
They're just... I mean, that rainbow selection there, if you love doing your EPP, there's a lovely selection of fabrics there to make...
Yeah.
You know, a hexie cushion or something like that with.
In all the rainbows, in all the world.
Make all the grandmother's garden flowers with the rainbow and then have a plain background to show them all off. I've got a lovely selection of fabrics. So I'm just adding the tail base now to the side. A bit wrinkled there because I pushed it too fast. There we go. So we're going to add that now to the tail top part. And as you can see, it really is very straightforward to make the little cat.
It is nice and straightforward.
So there's his tail. So now we'll join those 3 strips together. And again, as I say, there's no seam matching, so it really is a lovely, you know, straightforward, easy to make.
So would this be beginner?
I think so.
Really?
I really do. Because even if you wanted to make the whole quilt and, you know, with the border, the layer, it's using 10-inch squares. In a layer cake would be ideal, but if you've got fabrics in your stash that you've got enough to make the squares from, It's a simple 9 patch that you then cut into 4 and then twist it round, you know, the disappearing 9 patch style block. That's not a difficult block to make. And again, as I said, Pamela's instructions are really clear. They're really, you know, they're lovely. She uses straightforward, simple terminology, and there's also visual diagrams in there as well, which make it easy to follow.
Big bad boy, look at him.
And then we'll add the tail section on.
Do you know what that might have to be? We might have to quilt that up fully, get that done. I think that might be a Freddie birthday situation.
Oh yeah.
I think he'd love that.
He'd love it, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I've never known a child quite so into his cats. Like Emily likes the cats, don't get me wrong. But Freddie and Mortimer just have this bond.
They've got a very special bond
Really
together, haven't
special
they?
bond.
And I think that probably helps, the fact that they have that bond. But Mortimer obviously picks up the ease of Freddie with him.
Well, I mean,
They play together, don't they? But not in a noisy, boisterous way. They've got a nice... Well, Freddie's not a noisy, boisterous,
no. And
rush around type of
And the
boy,
minute
is
that
he?
Freddie sits on the floor and crosses his legs, Mortimer is in his lap.
Yeah.
He's done it ever since he was a kitten. It's really, really sweet. And but also, Freddie's got a bunk bed, and I've never seen a cat climb a ladder.
Oh, no, yeah.
Mortimer climbs the ladder and
Oh, how
gets
sweet.
into Freddie's bunk with him, and then just nestles down under the duvet. It's really beautiful, and I think, you know, to have that bond as a little boy with his cat.
Yeah, special.
Yeah.
So that's the cat part. So I'm going to
Gorgeous.
go back now to the actual pattern. That's him. That's the other one, look, and they've got the flowers that are similar to these flowers at the side. So
Oh,
again,
nice.
that's another one. I think that uses that uses 5-inch squares. So you could use the rainbow bundle for this one
Beautiful.
with the centre panel. That's just got the cat on its own. I knew I'd seen it somewhere else. So you've got the cat on its own there, and then this one uses the cat pattern to make several. She makes chevron shapes in patchwork, and then puts them together to make. It's a 4x5.
Could you bring that down a little bit
square.
so we can see it on the screen?
There we
Thank
go.
you.
So that's the same pattern, but she shows you how to do chevrons there with flying
Oh, lovely.
geese.
Yeah.
So another combination to give you a different effect. It's on the sofa on that one. You don't really see it so well on that picture, but on the back one you can see it. There he is.
Gorgeous.
So that cat is used several times, and I love the edge of the border on this. And that, as I say, that's using that flower pattern there to make those borders, but just with a different centre. Shows you there how to make the disappearing 9 patch. It's very straightforward.
Well, that's fabulous.
So we're going to join these 2 strips now either side of this panel. It's all rectangles and squares, so it's easy cutting as well. There's no, and it's 1/4 inches, 1/2 inches. There's no, like me who likes to do cut a 5 7/8 or something like that. It's all nice round numbers, and as I say, if you're doing half square triangles, she makes you make them bigger and then trim them down.
Oh, that's nice. And that's where having something like the Perfect 5 or your mini stripologies where you can trim stuff back is really, really helpful as well.
I mean, your stripology ruler will make the cutting of these absolute breeze.
So much easier. Absolutely. And they are back in stock. They have been out of stock for 4 months, by the way. 4 months. So to get them back in stock now, if you have been looking and waiting for a stripology ruler, please do. And of course, if you're buying the stripology ruler, you can use our free 1/2 metre code and get yourself a free 1/2 metre of fabric as well, which is rather nice. On that note, Jane.
Yeah.
Jane. The brand new case is due in today.
Ooh.
Yeah. It hasn't come in time to put on the show to show everybody.
Well, that might take us a whole show, because how many pieces are there?
Quite a lot.
There's quite a lot.
So, or maybe I need to do a Facebook Live or something where we just show you everything. We will put together a mega bundle like we did William Morris.
She says that while we're on air, so that I can't react to that.
I know. But there will be those people that want everything.
Yes. Oh, how cool would that be to have every single one of the new collection?
And we will make
Amazing.
sure that financially it is worth your while if you are in a position and wish to do that. Yeah, which is pretty special.
Absolutely. I'm just going to trim the edges off here because
Okay.
I think I've cut my strips slightly too long, so I'm just going to square them off.
And this is the other thing to let everybody know. If you are spending over £50 on the new Cafe and you put in your free half metre of fabric, we will honour that free half metre of fabric if you're buying Cafe with a half metre of Cafe for free.
Amazing. Bargain.
We've tried to match sort of similar style fabrics for your free half metre when you've bought from us, and I know that some of you have used the code quite a lot. That's what it's there for. Fair play. So we've tried to vary what you've had.
Yeah, we've tried to
thought
match
goes
it.
into
Yeah,
it,
we've
yeah.
tried to match it with the colours you've chosen or the types of fabric you've chosen. You know, if you've been able to and you've ordered a bundle of Morris, we've tried to put a Moda coordinating cream colour in.
And also so you're getting the same weight of fabric and
Yeah,
something that's going to
absolutely.
work and blend.
So I'm just joining the two flower blocks together now, and I'm going to add the strip on there that needs to go on the top of there. The construction of this is brilliant because it's just, as I say, it's all make it into a strip and then add the strip to the next strip type of thing. It's, you know, a very easy to follow set of instructions.
Perfect.
Then just press that up and away from there. So this flower block now goes against the side of the cap block, like so. Straightforward, nice, simple piecing. And as I say, once you've got the cutting out done, goes together so quickly. Well, you can see it hasn't taken me long, has it, to cut that, to
No.
make the cat.
Well, no one can see because I haven't changed the camera. There we go.
You can, of course, take your time and pin these pieces together.
Well, I mean, there's always that option.
There's
isn't there,
always
Jane?
that option, yeah, you know.
Whether any of us actually choose to do that
You know,
is a whole other ball
Take
game.
your time, making it a little bit more precise. What's that all about? There we go, we'll press that in. And then there's just the piece of, as we said, we chose trailing marigolds to act as our piece of grass the cat's sitting on in the
Oh, nice.
in the flower bed.
Oh, hello, where's it going? I'm chasing you, Jane.
Chasing me. There we go. You know, if you didn't want to make this into a cushion, it's a nice little wall hanging as well. You know, if you've got a summer house, you know, or a she shed or your sewing room,
Or a little girl's room. You
Little
could put
girl
there,
room,
you know,
yeah.
you could applique some names or anything on there, initials. It's when
Absolutely.
these books are a starting point, aren't they?
Yes.
They help you give ideas, and then what you do with them after that is, these are serving suggestions. It's like recipes. I don't ever stick to recipes. I might for the first one.
Yeah, you
And
do
then
it
have a
the
little
way
play
it says,
around.
and then afterwards you think, oh, well, actually, I could just add a bit more of this, or take some of that out and change it to that. I think that's one of the beauties of patchwork. Actually, is that you know, once you've got mastered the initial block or construction of something, you can quite often see how it can be used somewhere else,
Yeah.
and how by changing colours or fabrics, you can get a completely different look.
But who wouldn't want a Liberty Cat wall hanging?
Well, exactly. Exactly. Why wouldn't you? So let's just press that away. And you see, if I was making this into a cushion, I'd use that the binding strip, or the strip that she's used to frame the medallion in the middle. I'd use that as binding, you know, to bind the front and the back together.
Gorgeous.
So that would make a lovely. So there you go. You can see that's quite a big piece, centre of the quilt. Or, as we say, you could use it as a cushion, or just a little quilt on its own.
Yeah, you see, I'd be putting sort of Emily or something on the
Yeah.
bottom in some other.
In the book, Pamela's used different layer cakes. So she's used different fabrics in the middle. So she's got one with a soft grey in there, and she's used a turquoisey in the background, different coloured flowers. So it really is a lovely mix and match, and a good, you know, using up scraps as well. Easy to do. Using your scraps up to, you know, if you've got smaller odd bits of fabric, it's the sort of book that is perfect. You know, the little pin cushions here, she makes a little light Dresden plate with ears and the little face for the cat that sits on the top of a jam jar. That's a lovely Easter holiday project with your children or your grandchildren. It's really lovely. Little storage jars.
Do you know what, actually, that cat would be, I think what I might do is put on there, on the flowery bit at the bottom, Emily's bedroom, and have it as a door hanging.
Oh yes, that would look lovely, wouldn't it? That would be really pretty. So yeah, I love this book. It's just easy. It's a lovely, easy dip in and out of. I think that over time you would make everything in this book.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
there's, you know, sometimes you'll buy a book, won't you? And there'll be 2 or 3 things, and then it's like, yeah, it's okay. But I think you want to make everything. Well, I know I do. I want to make
and
everything in there.
permutations of it.
Yeah, because there's so much variety, lots of different things to make.
Yeah.
And as we say, there's 16, and lots of different techniques as well. So it would help you build your techniques as well.
Give it a try.
Absolutely.
Give it a whirl. And if you want the bundle, there is a huge bundle, just to recap, a huge bundle with 20 different blues and the rainbow and the black and white for the eyes.
Yeah.
If you'd like that, we have got that bundle for you. If you just want the rainbow squares,
You can buy those
you
separately.
can get those, and that's perfect for applique, EPP, patchwork quilts, anything really. It's a great stash booster, like we had with the Liberty.
Yeah.
Add that in, and then you've got
Yeah, if you've,
so
you've
much.
got a different variety of fabrics there for appliques as well.
Yeah, perfect. So you can buy all of them individually or all together.
And I mean, this rainbow bundle here of blocks, there's so many things in this book that you could apply those to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So really, really handy, or just great to have in your bundle, in your stash, because we know how popular the Liberty one was.
Yes. Yeah. It
That
went
was
really
crazy.
quickly,
So
yeah.
to have this range of fabrics, I just don't know another way that you'd get it and get it at this price. So
yeah, I mean, we've done it so that it reduces the cost, because if you had to buy 20 fat quarters of fabric,
that's
it's
a
beyond
huge-
some people
yeah.
really, because that's a lot of money to invest.
Yeah.
Whereas this gives you the lovely scrappy effect at a fraction of the cost.
We want to make these big statement pieces affordable.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. Jane, do you know what I'm just seeing?
Mhm.
You know the rainbow braid?
Yes. Oh yeah, that'd look nice, wouldn't it?
It's up the top left.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
This one.
I'm just looking at our rainbow bundle.
Look at that. You could have either I love the silver.
Yeah, I'm
I'm more drawn to silver.
Silver tones, yeah.
And the beautiful gold would look just as stunning with it. That's gorgeous. You could frame a cushion.
We've got this by the half metre, this braid.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to do a rainbow cushion and then braid it, then do that.
Oh yeah, that would be lovely.
So
wouldn't
many
it?
ideas during that time.
Just keep going, don't they? You know, you start off one way. We were saying this, weren't we, earlier, that you know, you'll start off making something, and then by the time you finish making that, you'll think, oh, well, I could actually use that technique, that block, that part of this pattern in something else.
Yeah.
Which is the beauty of it.
So that's what we've got for you today. We've got our half metre heavens, which we showed you earlier. They go live at midnight. Like I say, keep an eye open so that you can get your hands on the Kaffe as soon as it comes in. It's loaded in the system, ready to go. The minute it hits our loading dock, that's it. It's on the system, and it's there, and it's gone, and it's ready for you, so that you can be the first to get it. It's very exciting.
I've been following Kaffe on Facebook, and there's been a few little tasters of some of the prints that are coming, and I'm just like, oh, I can't wait for that.
Just gorgeous, just gorgeous. And did you see that Philip Jacobs has found another amazing fossil?
No, I hadn't seen that.
Yeah, literally 2 days ago, he found a Plesiosaurus, something like that. The end of its nose, like it's too big to carry. It looks like a massive log.
Wow.
And it's got all its teeth and everything fused together. You can see it's really amazing.
Oh wow.
So yeah, when he's not busily making fabulous fabrics, he's off
fossil hunting,
fossiling everywhere.
Amazing.
So guys, grab your fabrics, whichever you fancy. We are going to be back on Monday. I'm
going to put that bit of fabric there so you can see what the border would look like on that.
Oh, nice.
So it's just pale enough not to overtake the pattern, but blends in beautifully with the rest of the colours.
I'd do that just as a wall hanging for sure.
Yeah. Super.
I am at that there Create and Craft tomorrow.
Oh yes.
So I will be demoing Brandon, the lovely big peacock.
Super.
Tomorrow. So if you want to see, because we've demoed the cushions, yes, I just can't demo everything all at once. So at my 7 o'clock, it is at the On Godly Arrive, 7 o'clock in the morning. I do need to apologise for that. But if you would like to see the demo for Brandon, the lovely big peacock, then that's where you need to find it tomorrow.
Super.
I've got a bit of fussy cutting.
That's nice,
do.
actually. 7 o'clock is, I know it seems early, but for some people, that's quite a nice show time before they go to work, isn't it? Just get up a little bit earlier, and then they can watch you and then skiddle off to work. Yeah. So
that's where I shall be. Jane, thank you. Do you want to lift up the cats just a little bit so that we can see?
It's this beautiful rainbow. Isn't he lovely?
He really is huge.
He really is.
Yeah, I mean, you
it's a proper quilt size, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we could drape him onto the desk and he would still be,
it
very
comes
drapeable.
Right over.
So that's what we have for you. And we'll see you on Monday, where we will be doing something Lisa Chandler based.
Lovely.
Depending on whether or not her fabrics have arrived.
We're still waiting.
But we have lots of lovely ideas otherwise.
I've had a few of emails from people regarding the Baltimore. And that's because we're waiting for fabric, isn't it? It's not that we've forgotten.
No. So there are two factors in play, just very quickly before we go. There are two factors in play. Firstly, just trying to get stuff moving around the world at the moment is a little tricky.
It's still tricky, yeah.
But yeah, so there's been a delay there. And secondly, what I hadn't realised was that Lisa had rejected the print run.
Oh, right.
So there's a thing in the print world which I didn't know. If you look at the selvage of some fabrics, they're not quite white.
Yes.
They're like a greeny colour. And that means that fabric has been misprinted, bleached and washed clean, and then reprinted over. And they did that with some of hers, and she rejected it. She said, I'm not having that.
Right.
You know, she's been printing her own fabrics for years.
She's
expects
a standard quality, doesn't she?
Yeah. And it just tainted the background colour. She's like, no, this needs to be exactly like every other print run I have ever had.
Yes.
So it got rejected and it had to be reprinted.
That would explain a delay as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So, and I can't fault her for that. And I would far rather she did that and we were a month delayed with our Baltimore and you had fabric that was exactly the standard that you've come to know and expect.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the full story of that. It's a little from column A and a little from column B. So there we go. If we
That's
explain,
it.
then you know, don't you? And then
Yeah.
hopefully nobody minds. But we haven't forgotten, and we will do it because I want to actually finish
Yes, we
my
want to get
version
it
of it because
finished,
I've got Lisa's sample.
Yes, she
And
wants
that
it
needs
back.
to go back. So yeah. Right, my lovelies, we will see you next week. Have a fabulous rest of the week. I'll see you tomorrow at Create and Craft, and then again here on Monday with something Lisa Chandler-esque.
Lovely.
Take care. Lots of love.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.